Good morning on Wednesday, October 12th, episode 122 of the 359 podcast with Roger Cheng and Alfred Ng. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning. It is Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, everyone. Halfway through the week, almost. We're like 45 minutes away from halfway through the week, right? Exactly at 12? I don't know.
Technicalities.
All right.
Depends what time zone you're in.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like Friday already for me. It's been such a long week, but we've had a lot to talk about. Lots of Samsung news. We will get into Samsung, but first, we want to talk about Amazon's new music service. We will talk about Samsung, but in the context of its effects on virtual reality. And then lastly, we'll talk a little bit about Facebook and Twitter, getting into a little hot water for providing user data to the police for police surveillance. So
I will say it's a little bit more complicated than just that.
You can help break it down for me, because I'm going to give the very simple pitch line, and you can talk about the nuance.
Yeah.
In whatever time we'll have left at that point. As always, if you have any questions about any of these topics, leave it in the comments section. Our producer Brian will pick out the best.
Alrighty.
All right, let's do it.
And we'll start our recording for the 359 podcast, episode 122 in 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day and all the crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Amazon launched its new Music Unlimited service today. It's an all-you-can-eat plan similar to Spotify and Apple, and like the other two, costs $10 a month. But the real standout option here is a special $4 a month rate if you only plan to stream the music through your Echo device. So it seems like Amazon's really pushing Echo, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is this something that you'd actually invest in? If you had an Echo, would the $4 offer be appealing to you?
I'm actually planning on getting an Echo Dot, and I think Amazon's got a really smart strategy by just making everything as cheap as they can.
Yep.
So it gets out to everybody, and then everyone has it, and then here's all these other side services that we have with it.
It's really interesting that folks like Apple and Spotify really focused on getting people to subscribe using the service on their phone. The focus has always been on the phone. And so for Amazon to kind of come in here and create this kind of like side service specifically for the Echo, it's an interesting move, right? Sort of like sidesteps everyone.
Yeah, I just don't think that people are going to buy an Echo specifically for Amazon Music, especially for that discount of $4. You're saving $6 a month, and I think
that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
And I think
$72 a year
a month, though. I mean, like that's like what, like 50 cents a day, like less.
True, if you break it down by day,
it's just and then the only advantage I would see to it is that it comes with it. But if you have an Amazon Echo, chances are you already have Amazon Prime.
Yes,
which would most likely mean that you wouldn't even have to pay for that extra $4.
So no, that's not true.
Oh, they're just two different.
So they're two different services. There is the existing Prime Music that's been around for a while. It's not that great. The music selection is really slim, and the user interface isn't that great. This new service, Music Unlimited, is more like Spotify and more like Apple Music. The breadth of songs is way higher. The user interface is a lot better. It is a legit service that can compete against these other two. Like Prime Music was sort of like this little add-on, right? It wasn't that great, but you're not paying extra for it, so whatever. This one, they acknowledge that this is a service that you have to pay extra for. It is better.
So this won't be a part of Prime?
No, it's not part of Prime. It's a breakout service. So you'd have to actually, again, you have to spend $10 for the service, or if you're a Prime member, $8 a month.
Well, that changes things then. But I still think people are going to want to listen to their music on other platforms. I'm interested in it. I'm planning on getting an Echo Dot. And I think most people that have Bluetooth speakers to begin with already have a subscription to something like Spotify or Apple Music. So Amazon's going to have to really entice people with, exclusives like what Apple is doing.
Sure. Or
its massive library like what Spotify is doing.
So next up, we are talking about the Note 7 debacle still. We wanted to look at it from the context of virtual reality. Mm-hmm. The Note 7 was really supposed to push the Gear VR and virtual reality as a whole. Oculus and Samsung were really counting on people to buy this phone and then get into the virtual reality world. Now there's no more Note 7. What does this mean for VR? Is this a big blow?
This is a big hit, mostly because the Samsung Gear VR was, kind of the middle ground between, having a $10 like Google Cardboard kind of device and then a $1,000 Oculus.
Right. It was like it's sort of a semi-polished experience, right?
Yeah, and it a lot. That was kind of where Oculus was reaching a lot of people, and now with the Note 7 gone and the and the Samsung Gear, basically tailored for the Note 7.
Yep.
It's kind of like it's a big step back, and it's gonna affect Oculus and VR.
Just to know, the new Gear VR actually has a USB-C plug-in, so it was really designed for the Note. There is like sort of a dongle or attachment you can to make it backwards compatible, but no one's buying that Gear VR for it. Lastly, the ACLU accused Facebook and Twitter of providing user data for police surveillance. Just the latest incident in which social media is being used to track civil unrest and crime. Albert, you had a more nuanced take.
Yes. So it's a lot more than just Facebook and Twitter providing the data, more so that it was a Chicago-based company called Geophedia that basically took, public data, and they can get into Twitter and Facebook's API through it.
Right.
So the blame's not really on Facebook and Twitter so much as it is this company. And to be fair,
those companies restricted access or cut off access to Geophedia as soon as they were told.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say this is that it really hurts a lot of like political movements, those that are born on Facebook and Twitter and, organized through those. So it does deal a blow to those. And, people might want to organize on different websites as a result.
All right. So for more on those stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
And right out the gate, I think you've already kind of covered this, but just to re-clarify, this is not for the Amazon Music, this is not for pre-existing Prime customers.
No, the only benefit is that you'll get a $2 discount if you're a Prime customer. So this is a standalone music service. Again, it is a legit service that is on par with what Apple Music and what Spotify offer. So it's not the Prime Music that you have now with your subscription.
But is it built upon that similar or same Prime library?
No,
it's a
no.
new library.
Completely
It's a
independent,
much wider library.
Okay, that's another big question.
The Prime Music library is restricted. I think everyone knows this.
It's very small.
Right.
It's because you're not paying extra for it, so they're just sort of giving you. And we've talked about this. The service isn't that great. The user interface isn't that great. It's kind of confusing to use.
Yeah.
This new app that they created for Music Unlimited is much cleaner, simpler, and has access to a much, much wider library of music.
That's interesting, though, that they didn't put it underneath the Prime umbrella. I thought that they would have done that, only because Amazon usually likes to keep its ecosystem all in together.
Or at least better incentive, more than a $2 discount.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, that's where I think they're experimenting with different models, because you saw that with the $4 plan. They're really trying to push the Echo hard. There's a different kind of motivation here for Amazon.
I'm interested to see anyone in the chat what music services you have preferred. We have a lot of people who are fans of Apple. We have a lot of people fans of Spotify. I've actually dabbled in a lot of them myself, just having a colossal library on my own and looking for contingency plans because I have lost that library before due to an unfortunately placed Mountain Dew bottle.
Oh no.
Yeesh.
I will say YouTube Red is a very underrated music service.
Oh yeah.
Just because YouTube has like a huge selection of music there that, some of it might be not supposed to be on YouTube, but I mean, it's there and I can listen to it. So
as of right now, I myself stick pretty loyally to Spotify. I have just been inbred in that.
I'm the same.
I'm enjoying it. I have yet to really be disappointed by it.
Do you pay for Spotify?
I do, actually, and I find the price to be pretty comparable.
So the thing about Spotify, what sort of sets it apart from everyone else, is it's the only one with that free tier, right? I think that's what gets people into Spotify a lot easier. With Apple, with all the rest of them, you still have to pay $10 up front. Spotify, I'm on the free tier. I haven't paid for Spotify in a long time, but it's good enough for me. I mean, aside from the occasional ad that kicks in every half hour.
I mean, it's pretty handy.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
When you're DJing weddings, DJing parties,
definitely.
I like to actually have access to that on the fly. It's fast downloads. The quality is fine. It's no lossless, but it's pretty okay. I can live with it.
But whose lossless? Is it just Tidal? That's lossless? Yeah. And come on.
I think the average listener can't really even tell the difference.
Correct, especially when, like I say, I'm using in party scenarios where the fidelity is not the highest concern.
Right.
Somebody's gonna walk up to you.
As long as the liquor's flowing.
Exactly.
Really, the fidelity is not priority.
Somebody's gonna walk up to you like, hey, it's not clear.
It's not truly lossless quality. What's going on here?
I really like Google Play as well.
I
jumped right on that bandwagon as soon as that came out years ago, and then I hit the ceiling with the uploads, which I know has since increased, and I have yet to get back and fix my library. But that was where I kind of they lost me. Was I have way more than that could handle at the time.
I think of all of the music services, I think Google Play Music probably has the best playlists. I mean, they pretty much just took over Songza.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
use their model.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd been using SoundCloud for a really long time.
It's interesting. So do they? And sorry, I'm not as familiar with Google Play Music. Is it the same model where it's like all you can eat or all you can listen to?
Well, I was attracted to it because you could upload yours.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, you can
during
do
the
that
beta.
on Spotify too.
That's true, but it's more of like a cloud syncing. This is more like a storage unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, when I've already lost my entire library once
Right.
due to an accident, I take no risks anymore.
But if you're going in with no library at all, what for you guys is the best service? Like, what is the one that you feel has the most access to music?
I go to Spotify to find stuff I don't have. I occasionally dabble around YouTube to try to find the real dark horse buried kind of rare type stuff. And if
Because it's all kind
something,
of it's ever changing because they gain and lose licenses all the
Yeah.
time. The libraries are constantly changing, and I'm always wondering which service has the best library. It could be be up to your personal preference.
I would argue it's YouTube if you're gonna
because they
like,
crowdsource.
yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. I mean,
Because not all of that's legit though, right?
yeah. Spotify I mean, Apple Music probably has the best library, and I think you can count on it always being there.
Especially with some of the exclusives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do miss the other services not having the free tier.
Yeah, I mean that was something that Spotify kind of hammered out ahead of time, and like now that's locked up. Like no one else is doing it.
I don't mind the
pretty
ads.
smart.
Like
Yeah.
honestly,
I don't either.
they use the right algorithms
I
to
remember when I think-
try to sell me stuff I want.
When I remember
I get
when it-
awful ads on Spotify.
Do you?
They're like really bad.
I didn't think they were so bad. I hate when they do the promo filler stuff.
Yeah,
I think their
those are-
internal ads are
they're
crap.
I
really
always get car commercials or like how to fix your car kind of things. Like I've never Googled car.
They're the one, like car companies always buy the biggest
Yeah.
takeovers. So
Yeah.
you're going to get that no matter what because this is America, damn it.
Get a car.
and
Leonard,
chances are you're driving.
Leonard in the chat, what is K-Box? We have not heard of it. Have you guys heard
What?
of K-Box as a streaming service?
No. I've never heard of that.
Leonard, fill us in.
Yeah, what
we
is
are,
K-Box?
We are interested as
Enlighten
another
us,
option.
Leonard.
Hope it's not something dirty.
Randall asks, what about YouMusic? It's a direct enemy of Spotify and Apple, don't you think? I'm assuming you mean YouTube Music again,
Oh, I think.
right?
Unless there's something called YouMusic.
Is there a YouMusic?
I'm unaware of
Like you as in the
YouMusic.
letter, or you as in YOU?
YOU.
YouTube Music, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, if it is YouTube Music, I'm gonna say that I think YouTube has the largest library out of.
There you go.
KK Box. Sorry, it's not K Box. KK Box. I misread his original message.
That
I
changes
still don't
things.
know what the hell
Yeah,
that
I'm
means.
still at a loss.
Well,
Leonard.
now that you say that,
But thank you for clarifying.
Oh, it's an Asian music collection.
Oh,
Is it region locked? Is it available internationally?
or is the K for like karaoke?
I don't know. Yeah, what do the letters mean?
but there's two Ks.
But there's two Ks in karaoke.
We're intrigued.
Yeah.
Kyrul and Leonard, we are very interested in finding out more about this.
Yeah, because actually, I don't. There's certain songs, certain like J-pop, K-pop songs that I can't get on Spotify.
Yeah, right.
That's actually
But it will probably be on YouTube.
That I don't listen to.
They-
Yes, they're
they're-
definitely on YouTube.
There's a great anime playlist on Spotify that I put on.
Is there?
Yeah, I just do it to annoy my girlfriend.
You're gonna need to share with me because I would actually genuinely appreciate that.
There's that and like on SoundCloud. SoundCloud, there's
Oh
a
yeah,
dark
who
horse in
uses
here.
SoundCloud.
Musicians.
But that's
Yeah.
you speak of like self-sustaining ecosystems. Like SoundCloud is kind of its own beast.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you're
it.
not going there to find necessarily chart-topping music specific
Right,
genres.
right.
You're going there as like an electronic, typically not exclusively fan DJs or Mixcloud.
Well,
Similarly,
no, SoundCloud is my favorite place to find like joke songs and meme songs.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
There's like all these like Seinfeld like remixes on SoundCloud, and it's hilarious there. And then all these joke rappers that are on SoundCloud. SoundCloud's great. I use it like that's probably my second most used music app.
Wow.
I like SoundCloud as a discovery service. They have real fun algorithms. Like I'll just start and let it kind of go down that rabbit hole when I just like, I don't know what I want to listen to. I'm looking for something new,
Yeah.
something different, surprise me. That's what I appreciate SoundCloud for.
Yeah. It's a good place to listen to indie artists too. That
Indie
Yeah,
artists,
for sure.
Really
I
on
find a lot of
Spotify.
great dance on there.
Chance the
and-
Rapper got started on SoundCloud also.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now look at him.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yep.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something more about. Well, has anyone ever used Mixcloud?
No.
It's like catered more towards like full DJ sets, but there's also like no holds bar. I've put podcasts, like old podcasts I used to produce up there.
I remember when music streaming sites, there was like kind of like a Wild Wild West kind of thing. There was like Groove Shark and like
Rest in peace.
TuneIn and all this stuff.
TuneIn's still around.
Really?
Yeah. But TuneIn's more for streaming radio. Not exclusively, but that's largely what it's associated with.
Put radio on the internet.
Let's go way back.
There you go.
Way back to the origins and who used certain download clients that we may want.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I can say this live on air.
Sure we can.
I can say it. Yeah, I was a big Napster user.
Napster, Kazaa.
I used all of them.
There was BearShare, LimeWire, FrostWire.
BearShare.
Well, I don't know. FrostWire.
FrostWire was supposed to be like the clean version of it, but I think like
that's probably why I didn't use it.
Man, no generation now will ever understand the risk of giving your computer cancer just to get like.
I know. Happened.
I know.
It's happened. Like,
it was not. It was not a great time.
I mean, that's how I discovered some of my favorite bands back in like high school. And
I mean, I will say this though, like though that risk is the reason why I'm like so like I became like technologically like literate.
Yeah.
On things where I'd see something like, oh, there's no way this song is only like 15 like kilobytes, like it's gonna be some other thing.
Oh yeah.
And then that's also kind of how I figure out how to like.
That's
get
true.
rid of,
like that's how you found out about like sample rates. And
yeah. It's like I
fidelity.
wouldn't have even known about like my computer's like registry keys if I weren't trying to get rid of viruses on my own.
Oh wow.
Because it wasn't like I was gonna tell my parents, hey, I tried like putting this song on my computer and I got a virus. So it was like I just fixed it on my own.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, that was a terrifying time. But I mean, like,
but you learned from it,
right? But you know what we take away from it too, and this is something I say all the time: like, give me an excuse to pay for this content.
Yeah.
You know, why these TV and music services put their stuff behind obnoxious paywalls.
That's the problem that the industry is still trying to figure out. It's like, how do you reprogram people to think music actually has value to it? Like, it's not all free.
Like, I'm happy to pay for Spotify because I'm happy with the service and the giant selection I can get out of it. Granted, they need to work on how they're actually paying the artists out because there's a lot of controversy surrounding that we don't need to get into now. But, it's the same, like, we wouldn't have torrents if you would just let me find the episodes of the TV shows I want, kind of thing.
Yeah. In a way,
well,
speaking
Hulu,
rhetorically, of course.
Yeah, that video is its own. That's its own mess. We don't want to get into that rabbit hole today.
Michael wants to know what we think is what is needed for a music streaming platform to be the absolute best. There's offline listening, free listening, multiple tiers. What are like the essential ingredients to the perfect streaming recipe?
Wow.
Well, to me, offline streaming is the biggest thing.
Yeah, like an offline mode would be great. A free tier, because not everyone's going to want to pay, and the only way to hook people in is to have that free tier.
And to figure out how to better traffic those ads.
Yeah, that's true. Smarter, more appropriate ads would always be appreciated.
Yeah, sell me something I want.
Yeah, because I'm okay with ads that are actually helpful. Generally.
Yeah.
But if it's ads for cars and you don't own a car, then
maybe that's why I'm getting ads for cars though, because they're like buy a car.
It knows that you haven't searched for a car in a while. One. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like I do think Apple Music has like a lot of these elements that like make like a top tier music app. But I just think at this time,
although I feel like the user interface for Apple Music is still kind of
when I first started using it, it had this whole weird like tutorial thing.
The initial version of Apple Music I felt was so complicated to use. There were so many different like levels that you had to get into just to like access the playlist or add a song to a playlist that it wasn't really worth it to me.
I will say this, I really did like, and this might be good news for the Echo Dot and this new, or just the Echo in general, and this new music streaming service that they have.
Yeah,
I really liked controlling Apple Music through Siri.
Actually, that's one of the main highlights for this Amazon Music Unlimited feature is that they were really pushing the whole voice command thing. Like you could play sort of like that. You could sort of rattle off a few words from the lyrics and like have it see if it can guess the song. So they really put a lot of effort into kind of making the voice command the central feature of that Echo package or that Echo option. So I don't know. I mean, there might be some families who might invest in that, right? Maybe they don't need it for their phones, but it's sort of a central hub in the home.
You know what would make a music app, to me, top tier at least, if it had a Netflix-like feature where, you know, you can make profiles for other people that log on to that
Oh,
account.
yeah.
Because you can't do that
Yeah.
on Spotify. If I log in on it and someone else tries logging in, I get logged out. And if there's a shareability kind of feature.
Well, I mean, you
there-
have the
but-
multiple devices,
there's-
but the same thing. Like
but
it's
there's
an
a multiple-
organizational type.
But
thing.
no, you
isn't
can't
there a
both be
multiple-
logged in at the same time.
But there's a
Correct.
multiple account option there. Does Spotify have like a family plan?
I think,
But everyone, like, it's still
it's
like,
still like just Alfred.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you would have to have your own account and you pay for it on your own with your own card and all this stuff.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
There, you know, some people brought up stuff like exclusive albums, and I mean, I think that's a very subjective
Right.
consideration.
I don't like the exclusive things on streaming services. I think it's killing. Like, you're gonna drive people to.
It's cannibalizing it.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
drive people to want to like pirate music again if you do that. And
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Well, that's exactly it. It's like, oh, I'm signing up for Sling TV, but I need to have a Time Warner account to get this show's episodes, kind of things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there were all the like last year there were a lot of albums that came out, you know, exclusively on Tidal or exclusively on Apple Music. Like a Kanye West album, you know, The Life of Pablo, when it was exclusively on Tidal,
Yep.
got illegally downloaded like millions of times. The same thing happened to Frank Ocean. I mean,
Right.
and then you know we hadn't seen reports like this for a while when it was all over and everywhere. But then it started happening these exclusively on this app, and then
Yep.
here come all the illegal downloads.
Yeah.
And if you still use an iPod Nano, you can have access to FM radio, if you recall that.
I do still use an iPod Nano.
It's funny that there's a
I
few
have a
people bringing up
Nano,
FM radio, classic radio,
Really?
in here. Yeah,
Not gonna lie, I do listen
Oh
to
my
FM
gosh,
radio.
there he
on
is.
this.
He's busting it out.
I listen to it when I'm like walking, and I'm like, because it's an iPod, I'm tired of these songs that I have. on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But I keep it for when I'm on the train because I don't pay for any of these other subscriptions, like, you know, Spotify, all this stuff. So I don't have
Right.
offline listening. So it's basically when I'm on the subway and I'm underground, I have no reception. I listen to that because I can't stand listening to people talking on the train.
look at that.
Wow.
All these decades later, and FM radio is still hanging out.
Still, yeah.
I'm
Still
a
going
radio
strong.
junkie. I'm a fan. Like that's how I was raised. That's how I ended up here, where I'm doing this crap. So
All right.
This
Any other
family was-
questions?
This family
no,
was
this has been
raised FM.
a great conversation. Very interesting stuff, guys. We're definitely going to check out kkbox.com.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we're still.
Hopefully,
Is that free? Hopefully,
We'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll check it out.
But thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, and of course, CNET.com.
All right.
See y'all tomorrow.